Frederic Laloux, Reinventing Organizations. A guide to creating organizations inspired by the next stage in human consciousness. Dive into Reinventing Organizations, a compelling guide by Frederic Laloux that explores the evolution of organizations and presents the emerging TEAL model as the next stage in human consciousness. The book uncovers the transformation from red, focused on fear and dominance, to amber, with its agricultural planning and hierarchies. Delve deeper into the increasingly innovative orange stage and the culture-centered green stage. Finally, discover the TEAL model, which emphasizes self-management, flat hierarchies, and empowering individuals to make decisions independently, leading to increased effectiveness and profitability.
Evolution of organizational structures. Humans have undergone significant progress from nomadic hunter-gatherers to city dwellers in nation-states. A similar transformation has been identified in the evolution of organizational structures. Psychologists have identified 4 stages, based on color symbolism, in this transformation. The red stage was characterized by small and violent organizations centered on power and dominance. The amber stage emerged with agriculture, where planning became important, but rigid hierarchies remained. Orange organizations fostered innovation, creativity, and management by objectives. Green organizations flattened hierarchies further, emphasizing a shared culture. However, the process is not complete, and the most progressive stage, the TEAL organization, will be discussed in the next parts. The rise of TEAL companies. TEAL companies are a new form of organization without bosses, creating flat structures where every employee has the power to make decisions. Buurtzorg, a Dutch home nursing company, is an example of the TEAL model's success, spending 40% less time with each client and resulting in potential savings of up to €2 billion per year. The reason TEAL companies are effective is they eliminate bosses and middle management, allowing employees to use personal abilities and motivation. The system demands more from each employee, but it is hugely rewarding. As a result, Buurtzorg's nurses felt more motivated and energetic without bosses making all the decisions and ordering staff around. With the adoption of the TEAL model, we may be entering the next stage of organization, where self-management leads to more effective and profitable companies. The TEAL model, liberating and efficient decision-making. The TEAL model proposes an advice process for decision-making within organizations, allowing anyone to make decisions as long as they seek advice from affected parties and experts. Even if an advice giver opposes the idea, the final decision lies with the person seeking advice. In a holacratic company that follows this model, employees have roles rather than strict job titles. They can freely create new roles for themselves as long as they adhere to the advice process. The company holds regular company-wide governance meetings to discuss roles and collaboration, guided by a facilitator to ensure fair decision-making. Research shows that employees find this process highly efficient and liberating. A success story from a U.S. electrical company AES, where one financial analyst went through the advice process to invest $200 million in a Pakistan power plant, showcases the effectiveness of this model. TEAL organizations, embracing the whole person at work. Do you ever feel like your workplace doesn't care about your well-being or even your individuality? TEAL organizations strive to create a more personalized environment that values employees as whole people. One way they do this is by allowing dogs in the workplace, which has been shown to have a calming effect and promote better decision-making. Additionally, TEAL organizations make space for reflection through communal meetings or individual meditation. Employees at these companies feel valued and report a stronger sense of community and productivity. Join the growing movement of TEAL organizations and bring your whole self to work. TEAL organizations' innovative hiring practices. Job interviews can be anxiety-inducing for both job seekers and interviewers. TEAL organizations offer a refreshing approach to recruitment that benefits both parties involved. The process is designed to give the applicant and the employer an opportunity to gain a true sense of each other. Instead of relying on human resources personnel, interviews are handled by future teammates who are more authentic about the workplace culture. For example, online retailer Zappos makes an offer. They will pay $3,000 to any new hire who decides to leave the company during the first 4 weeks of orientation. This method allows for only the people who truly want to work for the company to continue being employees. The success of this approach speaks for itself, with only 2% of new hires choosing to take the money. TEAL organizations focus on onboarding new employees effectively. CEOs often personally engage in the new hire training process as it involves self-management, which is a core value of these companies. New hires need more time to adapt to full autonomy, and TEAL training emphasizes the company's values, communication processes, and managing failures. Purpose-driven TEAL companies. More and more companies are shifting their approach from prioritizing profit and competition to valuing purpose and cooperation. The concept of TEAL organizations is gaining traction, characterized by a mission-driven approach and a willingness to share knowledge with industry competitors. Companies like Patagonia, an outdoor clothing retailer, are committed to raising environmental standards in the clothing industry and reducing waste by offering customers a service for repairs. They produce highly durable clothing and even suggest that customers refrain from buying unnecessary items. The CEO of Buurtzorg, a home care provider, regularly shares insights in company operations with competing companies, believing that the more they give, the more they get back, aligning with their purpose to help people live more fulfilling lives. TEAL companies are driven by a sense of overarching purpose, which guides their goals and decisions beyond just financial gain, signifying a shift towards a more socially responsible and sustainable approach in business. TEAL company CEOs, trust and role modeling. TEAL company CEOs employ a self-management structure that distributes decision-making among employees and promotes trust. In times of setbacks, trust is preferred over imposing new controls. These CEOs also serve as role models for self-management and resist an urge to rule from above. When a CEO thought it was the right time to help convicts, he organized a meeting and employees agreed to select a point person to take the lead. The CEO advised the company without overstepping the bounds of self-management. Transitioning to a TEAL organization. Transforming a traditional organization into a TEAL organization requires a shift in mindset and operational structure. Convincing employees of the benefits of self-management can be challenging, especially for middle and high-level managers who may struggle with a loss of power. However, lower-level employees are typically more receptive to the idea. Getting employees comfortable with bringing their whole selves to work can also be intimidating, so it's best to introduce associated practices gradually. For example, replacing performance reviews with discussions about passions and strengths can demonstrate the benefits of the TEAL model. Non-hierarchical group approaches, like future search, can also be effective in involving all stakeholders to shape the future of the organization. Overall, transitioning to a TEAL organization is a difficult but worthwhile task that requires a radical change in mindset and approach to management.
In conclusion, Reinventing Organizations offers a fresh perspective on embracing change and redefining organizational structures. TEAL organizations thrive on self-management and flat hierarchies, ensuring a motivated and professional workforce. Efficient decision-making is achieved through an advice process, role flexibility, and the incorporation of personal well-being at the workplace. With carefully crafted recruitment processes and mission-oriented mindsets, TEAL companies prioritize purpose over profit. The traditional role of a CEO is reimagined in this new structure to promote trust and self-management. Understanding and embracing the TEAL model can revolutionize the way organizations function and create a more fulfilling work environment.